Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable power plant, smart pressure sensor, and custom nozzles. It's like the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Get your complete Bullseye Pro inflation system for just $79.99 and get free shipping. Plus, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. Order now.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another great show. I'm David Zere. You're watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. 100 days of the Trump presidency, the second term. So much has gone on and so many executive orders and such a busy agenda for Donald Trump. And how about closing the border 96% in the first 9 or 10 weeks of a second term? How many lives will he save, whether it's preventing violent attacks or innocent Americans getting hurt? Or how many lives has he already saved by thwarting the fentanyl across the border? How many billions has he saved already just in social services spending and preventing more illegals from coming in? What would that be? I mean, we probably spend trillions of dollars when you add up the toll of 60 years of illegal immigration plus. You know, how much money has he saved the court system or the prison system? Well, like in California, where like 15, 20% or so are illegals. In California, 40, 50% of the U.S. court system on the federal level used to be taken up with illegals being, you know, either in criminal court cases or other, and federal prison populations. And, you know, we spend $200 billion a year just on social services. So how much money and how many lives has Donald Trump already saved? Nobody's asking that question in the mainstream media, but we will tell you the truth. And what about the reduced strain in the emergency rooms and our medical system? It's been an incredible first quarter for Donald Trump. And of course, the media is eviscerating him. And the Washington Examiner had a great article talking about cutting steps in fossil fuel technology and stuff. I'll get into that later here. But I wanted to introduce our first guest. She's a dear friend. I've known her for many years. Very talented, Make America Art Again artist, Elena Ruseva. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dave. Nice to see you. Good evening, America.
It's great to see you. And, you know, we want you to tell your story because you had something very exciting happen recently. And, you know, kudos to you because you've put your heart and soul into your artwork, and especially your MAGA pieces that Donald Trump has put at Mar-a-Lago. But tell us about where he has your artwork now.
Oh, my artwork now is in the White House. It's actually beyond my dreams even. I was dreaming, you know, somewhere there, very, very far, somewhere in my tip of my soul that one day probably my art will be over there. But when my friends started to text me and show me sharing with somebody's tweets that my painting, Free America, Donald Trump, actually made the White House, I was shocked, honestly.
I remember you telling me 5 years ago at the Metropolitan Republican Club, you know, about your paintings and showing them there and what your aspirations were. And you were hoping that Donald Trump would pay attention. Not only did he bring them to Mar-a-Lago, but now it's in the White House. And that has a bigger meaning for you because, you know, it's one thing if an artist born in the United States gets their artwork recognized in the historic White House, right? 200-year history in America. But you have a different story, right? You're coming from communist Soviet Union.
Absolutely. I was born behind the Iron Curtain, as you know, and I faced all tips and all bright future benefits of a communistic country. And when I came to United States a while ago, I didn't understand anything about the political situation here. I just wanted to live my American life and chase my American dream. But slow by slow, I started to recognize that there is something wrong, especially when I started to pay attention on Biden administration rhetoric. It sounds so familiar. For me, it was so scary because everything what we heard from a radical left who flipped Russian Empire into communistic Soviet Union, same exactly words, exactly same narrative. Probably they changed it a bit to fit more American people, people who were born in capitalistic country, but it was exactly the same narrative, exactly the same offensive politics, exactly same cancellation of your First Amendment and try to cancel Second Amendment. They violate all rights under souls. Let's make everybody equal. And I hear it from a lot of academia, left academia, that they are socialists. They don't cover themselves anymore. They don't hide. They call themselves communists and socialists, and they kind of want this style of life. But all what I can advise them, please buy ticket to North Korea, go live over there 5+ years, get your education, like experience over there, living in communistic country, to understand exactly how this equality looks like. Because all people over there are equally poor, rightless, and miserable. There is nothing like wealthy, smoothie life for everyone. It's not going to happen. When government is in control, like dictatorship, and they just try to call it democracy, which has nothing to do with democracy, first of all. And second, I just wonder what democracy has to do with constitutional republic where we live.
Yeah, when I was there in '86, there were tanks in the street. There were soldiers marching through Red Square outside the Kremlin. There were no restaurants to go to virtually. The food stores had maybe a cucumber and a pepper on the counter. They didn't have food.
Absolutely.
The people, I saw the bread lines, and my sister getting married there and her husband coming here cried for 2 hours when he walked into our supermarket here, seeing 100 brands of cereal. He thought we were all spoiled, but it's such an incredible journey because you came here, you emigrated here out of a communist system. You're pursuing the American dream, and now you have the president of the United States recognizing your work. How does that make you feel?
No, I'm ready to fly away like a balloon, swear. I'm pretty happy. And my dream is take a same picture like a lot of people took with Mr. President in front of my art. So I want same picture with you, Mr. Trump. Please invite me to White House. It's going to be my pleasure and my honor. Second, a lot of people ask me if I'm planning to paint something to replace Hillary Clinton art. So yes, my Melania, Free America Melania art piece is ready. So my pleasure to give it to our beautiful First Lady as well. And second dream is to run art show, art show, patriotic, huge art show dedicated to all Americans, dedicated even to beautiful American conservative women who never was cheering by some art. I would love to establish huge collection and run solo art show in Mar-a-Lago Capitol Hill Club. Mar-a-Lago first. So I would love to. Please help me. And
I know you had your artwork at Mar-a-Lago, and I was at many events there, and I've seen your work plenty of times. When are they going to paint a picture of me, and where would you put it?
I would love to take care as soon as you will be back to us, back to trail. So.
Okay.
Give me a few weeks. Give me a few weeks and your art piece will be ready.
All right,
but you have to promise me that it's going to be your backdrop for all your segments.
The backdrop will be the pizza place. All right. And what do you have behind you there? I
started to work on Elena Ruseva piece because it's going to be part of our Free America collection. Over there, we have already plenty of patriots, starting, of course, with our mesmerizing president, and we have over there, you saw probably Steve Bannon, Kash Patel, our beautiful Rudy Giuliani. We have General Flynn, Peter Navarro. We have Elon Musk over there. Melania was really first lady in my art collection. So first lady, of course, she is first in my collection. and Alina Habba will be second, and then I'm going to keep going. So I want to bring more ladies who are fighting for this country because, again, democratic narrative during presidential election was that, oh, they don't like Kamala because she's a woman. No, I'm a woman, and my art now hanging in a White House. I'm an immigrant, and my art now is displayed in a White House. So nobody offends here women or immigrants, legal immigrants.
You got to do
right?
You got to do one of Kristi Noem, like bow hunting in South Dakota. All right, so we're out of time. In 30 seconds, tell our viewers where they can find your artwork. How can they buy it? How can they see it? And tell us about it.
Yeah, feel free to reach me out on my website, www.megalangela.vip. Same Instagram, Megalangela. Same, you can find me on True Social, X, LinkedIn, Elena Ruseva. So please feel free to text me, email me, buy my art. My pleasure to serve this country in my way.
And Megalangelo, you use that on many of the social media apps. Everybody go check it out.
Absolutely.
Elena Ruseva, thank you so much. It's always great to see you, and I hope to catch up real soon.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
All right. Best of luck with everything. She's a Spitfire, and she's been out there. I've been watching her for many, many years. Hoping to get the attention of Donald Trump because she's very talented and she's done so many pieces. She really has an extensive art collection, it's very exciting stuff. I'm very happy for her, especially coming from a communist country. Coming up, I have a great show for you on congestion pricing in New York City, California bills, red light cameras, school bus cameras coming. We've got all kinds of great stuff, and comedian Fred Rubino. Don't go anywhere. I'm David Zere. You're watching Breaking Point. As countries around the world move away from the U.S. dollar, get gold today for 5,000 years. Gold has withstood inflation, geopolitical turmoil, stock market crashes, and the great news is you can still get it. You can own gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert your IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. Just text the word America to 989898 to claim your free info kit on gold. 20 years experience in converting these IRAs and 401ks into precious metal IRAs. Birch Gold can help you today. Protect yourself today. Text the word America to 989898, an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of happy customers and countless 5-star reviews. Secure your future with gold today. Start today with your free info kit. There's no obligation. Text the word America to 989898 today.
I use Book a Limo on all my trips. They have drivers everywhere.
I always feel safe when I travel with their chauffeurs, from hello to goodbye.
Checking rates, booking, and managing clients' reservations online is so easy.
The confirmations, trip reminders, and car status updates are great when I'm on the go.
I want my clients to have the best experience during their trip. That's why I've used Book a Limo for the past 30 years.
What's your destination? Book a limo, any car, anywhere.
There's a concerted effort to intimidate and censor conservative thinkers. The very freedoms secured by our Constitution are being threatened by the most liberal progressives America has ever seen. It seems like everything they do is to the detriment of our great nation. But there are plenty of patriots with the courage to stand up to the left. Join AMAC. AMAC is a voice for conservatives that cannot be ignored. Stand with over 2 million America-loving patriots by joining AMAC today.
I'm Richard Karn, and I love my hose. My hose is lightweight.
Oh, no.
My hose will not kink.
Come on.
And my hose is anti-leak. It ain't those old hoses. This is my hose. The new Pocket Hose Copper Bullet, now infused with real copper, so your water is always clean and lead-free. Just turn on the water and watch your hose grow and grow to a full-size 3/4-inch hose. It stretches and expands like a rubber band. And when you turn off the water, away it goes, shrinking and squeezing that water out until it's practically bone dry. And that makes it easy to carry and put away. Our new inner tube uses 3 layers of high-strength latex on the inside. Then it's wrapped in a new polymer filament jacket, similar to the technology used in forest fire hoses because it's light and tough. 3 times stronger than the other hoses. It's guaranteed for 10 years. Nearly impossible to tear or snag. And the redesigned connector protector helps stop leaks at the spigot. But my favorite part of our new hose build, the oversized, easy-to-grip fittings. Easy on and off, even with gloves. With more than 100 patents worldwide, it's the best pocket hose in the world. Get the super light 25-foot pocket hose copper bullet today for only $29.99. But wait, call now and get our copper spray nozzle with our exclusive thumb drive free. Simply use your thumb to turn off and on. And with 10 unique patterns, you'll have a setting for every job. It's a $30 value, yours free with every 50-foot copper bullet. But it's not available in stores. This is an exclusive release of our newest pocket hose. There is a strict limit of 3 per order, so don't wait. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-448-0876 or visit copperbullethose.com. So call 1-800-448-0876 or visit copperbullethose.com. Order now.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching another fabulous episode of Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to bring on our next guest. So much to talk about all over the United States. The roads, the cars. We have with us right now, once again, Jay Beeber, the Executive Director of the National Motorist Association. Jay, what's cooking?
Oh, pleasure to be back with you as always. Nice to see you.
Always great to see you. So, a lot happening here. I wanted to start off with what's going on in California because there's some new bills pending that will affect the lives of commuters and travelers and their cars, similar to New York, but we got rid of most of these, at least in the suburbs. What do you got going in California?
Well, in California, there's a number of owners' bills, but the two worst ones are, one is Senate Bill 720, which would take away your right to a trial if you get a red light camera ticket, make the owner of the vehicle responsible, and basically make the ticket itself prima facie evidence, meaning that it's assumed that you're guilty when you walk in the door. And this is in order to generate more revenue, to make the programs more profitable, and to get the cities to keep all the money from these tickets, whereas currently they have to divide the revenue between the state and the cities and that sort of thing. So that's one bill. Another bill would make school zones active 24/7 at 20 miles an hour on every roadway, regardless of whether or not school is even in session.
Yeah, that's completely bonkers. Leave it to California. So I wanted to ask you, California, didn't LA get rid of red light cameras many years ago?
Yes, I was responsible for that.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So
I didn't know that in advance. So that's a genuine response. So tell us, how did you do that?
I made a good argument that the cameras weren't making the city and the folks in the city any safer, that the vast majority of tickets were for slow rolling right turns, like 75% of the tickets were for things that don't even cause any danger to people, and the fraction of a second violations that you can't see with the naked eye. And the city was losing over $1 million a year on the program. So in most places, they generate a revenue stream, but in the city of Los Angeles, even with the 60,000 tickets that they were issuing every year, they found a way to lose money on it.
So what about the increase in T-bone accidents? Right?
Yeah, there was. So actually, there was an increase in rear end collisions.
Right.
People slammed
T-bone.
Yeah, and no real decrease in T-bone collisions or from people running red lights. So we proved that.
Wow, because here in Suffolk County, because we suffocate from the high taxes, Suffolk County.
Right.
We have a great legislature now. They got rid of red light cameras this year, and
yes,
it was such a great thanks to Stephen Root, who actually cut down a red light camera pole a couple of years ago and got arrested. But he did it for all of us. And,
yes, I know.
Right. He really raised awareness. He's a great guy. They got rid of them. But New York City, I have to dedicate 1% of my annual budget to New York City red light camera tickets.
Right.
It's insane. Let's talk about the school bus thing, because they're not enforcing school bus tickets by us anymore because so many people. The fines were like $500. What's up in California?
Yeah, I mean, California, they've tried to pass this bill for school bus cameras. In fact, I was just doing an interview with somebody about this. The school bus. There's this company called Bus Patrol. They used to be another company that was called Force Multiplier Solutions. They bankrupted the Dallas County school system and got run out of town for bribery and stuff like that. Then they rebranded to Bus Patrol, and now they're around the country selling these bus systems, claiming that there's all these violations and that kids are getting killed left and right, and it's not true. Thankfully, fatalities from kids is from a driver illegally passing a school bus is so rare that they don't even really register. There's maybe in the entire United States, like 4 every 10 years or something like that. I mean, it's thankfully very, very rare, but they're issuing millions and millions and millions of tickets. And this company is making millions of dollars, which they then use to lobby against the regular folks. So because it's a money generation thing. That's all it is.
Wow. So I'm Stephen Ruth, not Stephen Root. I said Stephen Root was responsible for starting the debate about the red light cameras in Suffolk County. Stephen Root was the actor in Office Space who played Milton with the red stapler.
I thought you had said Stephen Ruth. So
I'm telling you,
because that's what I heard. Right.
So. The Department of Transportation is going to stop funding or stop asking mandates for these road diets. I know in New York City, you could only go like 20, 25 miles an hour, and it's completely miserable. I mean, you go to Midtown Manhattan now in the daytime and in the morning, there's no energy. Right. The commercial traffic is about half of what it used to be. New York City is not a buzz anymore. It takes forever to get anywhere. What's up with road diets?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Manhattan, it's bad just to begin with, but a lot of the congestion that has happened in the recent years is because of the policies of the city and the state to make driving as difficult and as miserable as possible. So they're taking away car lanes. They are, putting in these cameras, these speed cameras to ticket people for ridiculously low speed limits. They're lowering speed limits in places and then ticketing people for that. And then they have these school zone camera tickets that run 24/7. Even if you're nowhere near a school and nobody's around for miles. So they're just trying to get people to not drive a car. So the federal government recently put out a series of funding for people to put proposals back to the Department of Transportation. And they said this time around, different than the previous administration, they are not going to look very favorably on projects that are not truly safety oriented, that they are not going to approve projects that are going to take away car lanes or impair people's ability to get around by car. So that's a good thing.
Well, pretend Republican Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York City, started the misery in New York, trying to reduce traffic and made it impossible.
Is he still pretending to be Republican?
I don't know. He spent $72 million on gun control, I think.
Right. I mean, let me tell you a secret. Most people don't know this. So there's these groups out there that are pushing for all of these laws against drivers. He's funding them. They get a lot of their funding. There's this thing called Streets Blog, which is this online blog that pushes all these crazy ideas about nobody should ever drive a car and everybody should be on a bicycle and, all of the, speed cameras and lower speed limits and all this kind of stuff. They are funded by Bloomberg.
That's unbelievable. I'm learning so much from you. I always do. And I'll never forget when Sarah Palin walked into CPAC in like 2012 with a giant big gulp. That was a riot, because he wanted to ban soda in New York City. But his hypocrisy was he wanted to ban soda in the convenience store, but not in the supermarket. So they would just go to the supermarket to buy it and the small businesses would get hurt.
He is the biggest anti-state person ever. And unfortunately has a lot of money to throw around to try to get his way in places.
Well, there's no doubt about that. All right, let's tackle one more subject here. The last time I had you on, we were talking about the Clean Cars 2 waiver program where California dealers were going to be punished by manufacturers by forcing more expensive and more volume of electric cars on the public and only have those cars available in the California dealers. But Trump has reversed that, hasn't he?
Yes, they're trying to stop that. There is actually coming up a vote soon, I think, in the next few days here, or it's already happened. I'm not really sure. But they, but this would be to use the Administrative Procedures Act to prevent California from having this waiver. And understand, this waiver was put in place for California to come to the federal government and ask for these individual waivers. Wow. Back California had a really bad problem with smog, and this was like in the 90s and the 80s, and a lot of that has been cleaned up. But cleaner cars just overall on the roads, better fuel mileage, all of that kind of stuff. So that problem doesn't exist as much in California, but they really want to be the tail that wags the dog of the rest of the country, because they want to impose their will everywhere. They're not just happy enough to do it in California and destroy California. They want to destroy the whole country. So they're the biggest market, obviously. So if they pass a law that says, let's say the cars have to meet this mileage standard or this emission standard, then manufacturers are not going to manufacture cars just for California and then for the rest of the country. They're going to have to impose this on the rest of the country. So there's no reason to give California this waiver, and I'm hoping that the federal government is able to claw this back.
Yeah, and like we were saying, electric cars were flat for the second year in a row in 2024, but there's still 24%, I believe, of the population, car population in California, right?
They may be, but understand that the vast majority of these cars are being sold in the richest zip codes. So it's rich people getting subsidized to feel good about themselves. And here's the thing. There really is no evidence that an electric vehicle is better for the environment. And there's a lot of data on this, but just in terms of CO2 emissions, it's just not good evidence that we need to mandate this for everybody when it's not even clear that electric vehicles at the end of the run are better for the environment, less CO2 emissions.
Yeah. Jay, we're out of time. Tell our viewers where they can follow you. Okay,
so you can find us at motorists.org. That's motorists is plural.org. And you can go to our website if you're in California and you're concerned about these bills that we mentioned. We have an action page there. You can find out what you can do about that. It'll pop up immediately when you go on the website. And contact us. Join the organization. Okay. It's a measly $40 a year.
All right. I'm so excited that you killed the red light camera program in LA. You save people a lot of money. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have you back, Jay.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Super. All right, everybody. We got more ahead. Don't go anywhere, and don't change that channel.
There's nothing worse than losing your dog before their time. So why do so many dog foods contain awful things a human would never eat? To save his pets, world-famous veterinarian Dr. Marty knew he had to change what was in their bowl.
That's why I created Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, my breakthrough formula that's changed everything about dog food.
Nature's Blend contains nothing but all-natural ingredients, designed to help dogs with everything from digestive issues to itching and paw licking, even moving around better. And that's because Nature's Blend is freeze-dried. So instead of destroying the nutrients with high heat, we gently preserve them, and you'll see the difference in your dog.
Take it from a veterinarian with over 50 years of experience saving dogs' lives. I have never seen a food make this much impact on a dog's health.
Such a huge difference in her health. More energy, more playful, no more pooping issues. He's healthier, he looks better.
Dr. Marty has thousands of 5-star reviews. And for a limited time, get up to 54% off Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, plus a free gift with our special TV offer. Call or go to drmartypets.com/TV. That's drmartypets.com/TV.
Your wallet is always in danger. Criminals can scan and hack your information without you even knowing. Worse yet, it's bulky and so disorganized. But not anymore, because Slim is in. Introducing Slim Mint, an ultra-thin RFID blocking wallet that keeps your cards and cash truly protected. And now may be your last chance to get it for a low price. Slim Mint uses the latest RFID blocking technology to prevent thieves from scanning your wallet and stealing your info.
Having your information stolen is a nightmare. But with Slim Mint, I know I'm protected.
With Money Clips, cash can easily fall out. But with the auto-locking Slim Mint, your cards and money stay securely in place. Then just press the button to release the lock. Slim Mint is ergonomically designed to optimize space and keep your belongings organized. It has a built-in cash clip and a flexible outer band to securely fit your additional cards and your extra cash. Even with everything you see here in the Slim Mint, it's still ultra thin. Bulky wallets are uncomfortable, but the Slim Mint is so compact it fits in any size pocket. Plus, it keeps everything easy to access.
Slim Mint holds everything from pictures to credit cards, my driver's license. Yeah, it's still so thin.
Say bye-bye to bent cards and damaged magnetic strips. Slim Mint keeps them protected. It's crush resistant and can really take a beating. Similar wallets sell for over $100. But call or click now and get Slim Mint for just $29.99. Order in the next 5 minutes and you'll get an instant $10 discount. So it's only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get Slim Mint at this low price. There's a strict limit of 3 Slim Mint wallets while supplies last. You still have time to get your very own Slim Mint wallets, but you must act fast. Don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-608-6630. That's 1-800-608-6630. Call or visit slimmintwallet.com. So call 1-800-608-6630 now.
Welcome back to Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. And the Democratic Party coming apart at the seams. They're trying to find some traction on the due process issue, but I don't know if that's the right hill to die on for them, especially when this guy Garcia, was actually human trafficking people down near the border, and it was established by the court 6 years ago that he was MS-13. But we'll see where that goes. But here to discuss the Democratic Party and where they stand right now is the non-woke CEO and host of the Bill Walton Show, Bill Walton, who formerly served on the Action and Landing Team for Donald J. Trump 2016 presidential transition team. Welcome, Bill.
David, nice to see you. Good talking with you.
Great to see you. You're the host of the Bill Walton Show. You have a distinguished background. You served on a lot of boards, Allied Capital, right? You were...
Yeah, exactly. It was publicly traded private equity fund.
Yeah. So you're...
About $10 billion.
A lot of impressive, you're on the boards of the Heritage Foundation and other groups as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the reality for the Democratic Party. Even Bill Maher was warning on his show about 3 weeks ago that New York losing 2 congressional seats, California 3, Rhode Island, Oregon, other blue states losing a seat or 2 here and there. By 2030, the Dems may have no chance if they don't get their act together. What do you think?
I think the odds are high that they won't have any chance unless Donald Trump fails in what he's doing in this term, and I don't think he will. But as an indication of how desperate they are, Nate Silver, he was the pollster that really nailed it in 2008 and 2012. I think he called every single state, and since then it's been a little more mixed record. But he's basically been right, and he's now telling us that he believes Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will be the Democrat nominee in 2028.
Hide the women and children. That's all I got to say. Oh my God.
Well, she's turned her district into basically a red light district. It's not I don't think she's going to win her own district, but we'll see.
Well, there's streets in her district that have underage prostitutes walking the streets, Asians, illegal aliens. Really very, very sad what's going on.
Well, but she's really not. What she's paying attention to is she's gone on the road, and she's gone on the road with Bernie Sanders. And I love the name of this. It's the Fighting Oligarchy Tour. I got to pronounce it like Bernie. Oligarch. And they're drawing big crowds. I mean, 20, 30, 40,000 people. And I can't think of any other Democrats right now or any recent memory that can do that.
Well, speaking of oligarchy, the jet that her and Bernie were on is $15,000 an hour to operate. And I remember 4 years ago, AOC couldn't afford the apartment in the Washington Naval Yards in D.C., and now she's worth many millions of dollars. Is that correct?
Well, she might have been learning from the Bidens. I don't know, but that is correct. She's up from nothing. And she was never as poor and beleaguered as she claimed in her campaigns, but she wasn't doing that badly. But where she is now is certainly it happens to. How do they do it? They always end up with a lot more money after they've been here for a few years than they came with.
Now, is this a concoction of like the Cenk Uygur types, the Democrat Socialists of America? She auditioned for that seat to run. Her brother was supposed to go to the interview in Brooklyn, and she was a bartender, and the brother asked her to go, and she wound up getting the part to be the candidate in that heavily Democrat district in New York.
Well, she's charismatic, and
yeah.
She has, I hate this word, but she's very relatable. I mean, she tells stories, she empathizes with people.
Yeah.
Her political ideas and her policy ideas are terrible, but she makes people feel like she's there for them, and she's very, very good at it. And the question, is Bernie out there helping her take some of his people for 2028 if he decides not to run? So I think Nate Silver may well be right. But then what are they out there pushing? They're out there Medicare for all, free college tuition, affordable housing, and of course the rich, the billionaires, the oligarchs. The oligarchs are going to pay for all of it. So it's horrible economics and horrible social ideas, but they're both very good charismatic speakers.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And what's going on here is the Democratic Party. I have more faith in the American people, I think. Because it's good that she's running in 2028, though, for her, because I think in 2030, the planet's supposed to end, right? So she has 2 years left on her, whether she's right or wrong, right? Didn't she say in 10 years we'd all be toast? So
there are a lot of those that are past their sell-by date.
Yeah, for sure. So she's got to run quick. Let's talk about Dick Durbin and other members of the Democratic Party. Did the Democrats find some traction with this due process issue?
No. Well, just to recollect, the due process, they were talking about how when Trump sent an illegal alien back to El Salvador, somehow they didn't fill out the right form or whatever, and it wasn't technically due process, but he's not a citizen, and he's an illegal alien, and he's got a rap sheet that's incredibly long, including, I think he was arrested driving a carload of.
He was a human trafficker.
He was a human trafficker. So that so they've picked the wrong. They picked the wrong candidate to be the victim here, and they're not gaining any traction at all. So I think this one's probably going to go away, and as soon as some next newsy thing comes up.
Now, Dick Durbin was a staple in the Senate. What is the impacts of him retiring? Is he getting out because he sees the writing on the wall, or is it just that he's old?
Well, he's 80, but in the Senate, that's not old.
And then, look at Strom Thurmond.
They tend to want to.
Chuck Grassley.
They tend to want to check out going to their last roll call vote. But Dick was not much less radical than AOC, and so it's not that ideologically he's leaving. I think it probably is just age. I think he also knows it's a safe seat in Illinois that they're sure to fill with another Democrat and probably somebody younger. Let's
hope it's not J.D. Pritzker, in Illinois. Yeah. That he's uber radical. He's got a ton of money. We'll see. I don't know if he's even considering that. All right. What are some of your other concerns? We have 2 minutes left. What else do you think is going to happen going forward here?
Well, I think that we'll hear a lot on the people for president story, but it's 3.5 years before the next election. So I think it's just that people like to have a competition like a sports contest. One of the most interesting candidates in my mind is Stephen Smith, who is with ESPN, and he's interested in jumping in. And I think he'd add a dimension that they need. I mean, if you look at the list of the Democrat candidates, they're so-called self-identified or identified by others. We've got Gavin Newsom, who it's hard to see who's the worst governor, J.B. Pritzker or Gavin Newsom, given what's happened with both California and LA. I knew J.B. Pritzker when he was a kid. I mean, I was a banker, and Jay Pritzker, who was he was the true oligarch. He created the Pritzker fortune, and I was one of his deal bankers, and it was fascinating to work with him. And I remember JB in the office as this chubby little boy. He's only gotten chubbier as the years go on, but I had no idea he'd be filled with so many bad ideas, because Jay was actually a pretty good guy.
I wonder if Pritzker had anything to do with the Hyatt making us wear masks at the 2021, I think it was CPAC in Orlando. We were all miserable down there doing that. Bill Walton, we have 20 seconds. Where can our viewers follow you?
Well, you follow me at the BillWaltonShow.com website. You'll find about 250 very interesting conversations with a lot of household names. Well, not household names, but policy household names. So that sort of thing. In-depth conversations, but we try to keep them lively, and hopefully you'll learn something when you spend some time there. And of course, we're also on YouTube and Rumble and all the other major podcast platforms.
Wonderful. Bill, thank you so much for coming on. I hope we talk again real soon.
Okay, great, David.
All right. Thank you, guys. I will be right back with more. We always love seeing Maria from Switch to USA. How are you?
I am doing very well. I am so pumped that we are here in Long Island. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. And I see you everywhere. I saw you in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, Wildwood, New Jersey. Is there anywhere you don't go?
There is nowhere we don't go. Absolutely.
You've been a supporter of Real America's Voice, Breaking Point, for some time now. Tell us about Switch to USA.
Well, Switch to USA is the mom and pop American manufacturer, and we are the parallel economy for all of your essentials. And you never know when you might need another supply chain. Wink, wink. So
all made on American soil by American factory workers?
Amen to that. We have to rebuild our economy, and we are doing it.
Where can our viewers find you?
Please come to switch2USA.com.
Switch2USA.com. We love Maria. So great to see you.
Thank you so much, David. We love you too. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Maria.
We all want to make a difference in our country and make change, but we don't all have the ability to do so. A lot of people are busy. They can't join school boards. They can't get on borough council, but they can change where they shop. And it's just shopping. It's that simple.
We're going to link arms and we're going to shop right here at this American factory. They make the products and they're all natural and they're good for us and they're affordable. Everything's made here in the USA.
How many times have you tried to clean a stubborn mess but end up with no success? What you need is the all-new waterproof Ruby Horsepower, the new cordless and rechargeable power scrubber that cleans faster and easier, guaranteed. Watch, baked on oven grease is no match. It blasts away dirt and grime in no time. The power comes from our rotating brushes, spinning at 350 RPM. The incredible torque fights calcium, mildew, mold, and more. Take it in the kitchen, where it busts through caked-on crud, or outside and tackle tough tasks with ease. Get your Ruby Horsepower with 4 additional attachments, all for just $39.99. Great news! They're in stock and ready to ship. Due to high demand, only 2 per order. Order now.
Call 1-800-944-4512. That's 1-800-944-4512. Or visit horsepowerscrubber.com. So call 1-800-944-4512 now.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you out of harm's way. Bullseye Pro is lightweight, durable, and powerful enough to inflate this massive monster truck tire. Plus, it has 4 ultra-bright LED lights to safely inflate at night. Bullseye Pro comes with 3 custom air nozzles on board, so you can easily inflate pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Forget driving to the gas station. Bullseye Pro is your anywhere, anytime inflation station. Call or go online now and get the complete Bullseye Pro inflation system, all for the factory direct price of just $79.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. But to really inflate this offer, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. You get it all. An incredible value for one low price. Call or go online to order now.
To order, call 1-800-976-9718 or go to getbullseyepro.com. So call 1-800-976-9718. That's 1-800-976-9718 or order online at getbullseyepro.com. Order now.
Hey guys, welcome back. You're watching Breaking Point, Real America's Voice News. U.S. energy policy under Trump. Very, very excited about this. The Interior Department is helping increase oil production in the Gulf of America by 100,000 barrels per day, as per Trump's executive order to unleash American energy. Offshore drilling in the Gulf will tap multiple reservoirs at once at higher pressure levels, boosting output by 10%. And the Interior Department said that a 2023 study from the University of Texas found that over the next 30 years, there's going to be an increase of 61% more oil that can be produced over the next 30 years. And the Washington Examiner is saying that Trump has announced steps for leases and permits on federal lands that would normally take 1 to 2 years. He's going to get it down to 14 to 28 days. Talk about cutting red tape. And he's not going to do it for wind and solar projects, but he will do it for a few clean energy projects. And but I want to get right to our next guest. Very, very funny man. Funny looking too. Fred Rubino, the king of Brooklyn. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. You said I'm funny looking.
Did you give me waltz hands before instead of jazz hands?
Waltz hands. You put your elbows in, almost touching, and then you wave at shoulder length.
We got to do that. That's like the towel dance, but for a Democrat. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, listen, it's time for a little humor because we're also stressed out. The mainstream media throwing everything at Trump, right?
Everything is Trump's fault, but it seems like the more he does, the less credit he gets, and the more they blame him for. Don't they realize everything they blamed him for, they got caught doing? I would stop. Stop already. Stop.
I
the
think
mortgage thing, the election interference, everything. I can't think of one thing they didn't get caught doing that they accused him of. It's so stupid. These people are really stupid.
It's projection, Fred. It's projection. You know, my mother used to say that to me. She'd be like, you'd make a great defense lawyer. And she wasn't even Jewish. It's unbelievable.
But she was saving up to be Jewish.
Well, you're from Brooklyn, right? Brooklyn, a very diverse community. You've got great pizza. You've got a large Jewish community. You're very popular over there. How do you do it in Brooklyn?
Well, I do it from the side. No, I'm like, grow up, will you? Listen, I grew up in the biggest concentration of Italians outside of Italy, all Roman Catholic. and next to Borough Park, the biggest concentration of Jews outside of Israel.
Yeah.
And we all got along. It was fantastic. And all of a sudden, whenever people scream racism, that means like the racism really isn't there, but they're trying to interject it into your community. So we never had that. We always got along fine. And it's very sad what's happening on the campuses of the universities. And I can tell you right now, in my day, my Jewish friends would have came up to me and said, let's go. Let's get on the train. We'll go into Columbia University. And that would have been taken care of in probably 2 hours.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They're protesting again at Columbia, by the way. Okay, Michelle Obama, right? She's complaining that only 7% of the therapists and the clinicians and psychiatrists are people of color. So our children don't know to go into this career. And like Taraji P. Henson said, the comedian actress, she was complaining she couldn't find a clinician for her son because she needed a black guy. Is that racist?
Listen, all she's been saying lately is that she's breaking her silence now.
Yeah.
This woman hasn't stopped talking for 14 years. Do you understand that in order to actually be silent at some point, you have to stop talking? She hasn't, 14 years, she hasn't stopped talking. She's been on podcasts. She's been on all kinds of talk shows. She's been all over. 14 years. I've never seen a first lady talk so much and at the end of it say, I'm going to break my silence. Does she know what that means? Does she know what to break your silence? You had to be silent at one point, please. It's like drinking. I say, I'm breaking my sobriety every day. At one point, you got to be sober to break it.
All right. So talking for 14 years, you obviously met my wife, okay? That's all I'm going to say. So does that mean that I have to fire my Chinese neurologist because he's not a white European dude?
No, don't fire. Never fire your Chinese anything. They're the best at everything. Is that racist? Because I'm always saying Chinese are the best at everything.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a homeless Chinese guy? Never.
Well, half of, down to half of Brooklyn now by Spumoni Gardens, that's all Chinese and Korean now too, right?
Yes, it is. It's almost all Asian now. But you never see an Asian homeless guy. Never.
Wow. Because
they have a great work ethic. They're very good people. They have a good family life. And it's fantastic. But
you know what?
This first woman, everything is racial. I can't remember any quotes from all the first ladies combined. All the first ladies we've ever had combined. Maybe I remember one quote, maybe like, just say no.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama's got like 10. She's like, America was never great. I'm ashamed of America. I go low, they go high. My husband's in the middle. What else did she say?
Let me just tell you right now that this show has probably 3 times as many viewers as Michelle Obama's first podcast did. So I feel better about myself.
She's breaking her silence.
Yeah. She is. And, well, listen, let's go to the Pope, all right? God rest his soul here. But I'm Catholic. A lot of Catholics in my family thought he was a, progressive leftist, social justice, rainbow Marxist climate change agenda Pope instead of a religious figure. What do you say?
He seemed different than all the other popes, right? Didn't he say gay marriage was okay?
Yeah, well,
and I think
he didn't. He said he would like give communion or they would recognize, gay couples. But he did it. He said they did it out of like charity. So he didn't like fully commit to that. But, he was radical. He gave $500,000 to illegals near the U.S. border. Catholic Charities is an NGO funding illegals through the Darien Gap from Panama up to the United States. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of conservative Catholics were very disheartened by what he did. And I didn't like that he came out. And a couple of months before he passed, he was saying that if you build a wall, it's immoral, and America shouldn't be building a wall. Meanwhile, at the Vatican, for 1,000 years, there's been a 40-foot wall completely around the Vatican.
Yeah, and machine guns.
And machine gun. And you know what? For 1,000 years, the wall worked because there's not been one Mexican pope for 1,000 years. So walls work.
You bring up some really, really good points here. But I covered Trump at the Al Smith dinner in the city for the network in Manhattan, and Catholic Charities ran it. Trump was very involved with Catholic Charities, and Fred Trump, his father, very, very generous with the Catholic Church and Catholic Charities. And Trump said at that, to a 70% liberal audience, he said, "Your wives and their boyfriends will all be voting for me," he says to the audience.
I remember that.
And he said, "It's the first time I thought that men could menstruate when I met Tim Walz." Very funny guy. What do you think about Trump?
You know what? I know that they crawled up every hole that he has looking for something against him. You know what they never came up with? They never came up with a charity that he said no to.
Yeah.
Go try and find that. You won't find it. Anyone who came to him, black colleges, women issues, even things he wasn't quite aligned with, he gave. So this guy has a heart of gold. And I've never seen a charity come forward and say, when we asked for money for Trump, he turned us away and said no.
You got to go.
Never happened.
I covered the documentary at Mar-a-Lago, The Man You Don't Know. And if you want to see a great movie about his charitable side, which is amazing, go get The Man You Don't Know. Fred, we only have about 30 seconds. Tell our viewers where they can follow you. And you have any dates coming up after May 3rd that people can see you?
I will just go to fredrubino.com. I will have links to my podcast that I'll be doing. I'll be on WABC Radio Friday mornings, 4:30 a.m., doing a weekly wrap-up. So fredrubino.com. Watch my podcast every Tuesday afternoon at noon, and tune in to WABC and listen to me live.
Well, we will do that. And everybody, we can't have Fred back because he's too funny. So thank you so much. We'll see you real soon, Fred. Always a blast.
Thank you so much.
Have a great one. Okay. Everybody, thank you so much for watching Breaking Point today. Thank you for joining the Rav family. Go on the Rav chat. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on the Getter chat. Go to @RealAMVoice on Getter. We're on Rumble. Join the discussion. We'll see you next time.
Hello, this is Mike Huckabee. President Trump said he wants to take back the White House and teach our kids to love our country. That's why my team created a Kids Guide to President Trump. It'll teach your kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his vision for America. And right now, I want to give it to you for free as part of this free gift bundle.
Order your free Kids Guide to President Trump, get a free bonus guide, and a free membership to AMAC featuring dozens of money-saving benefits at kidsneedtrump.com. That's kidsneedtrump.com.
You push it. You try to hold them shut, but your doors won't stay closed no matter what. Introducing Ruby Monkey Magnets. Ultra-thin magnetic plates that will keep your doors and drawers shut. Just peel to reveal the super strong adhesive. Place the monkey, then the magnet, and close. Installation is